Friday I drove her to the parts store and she ran fine. She drives, seems to me like a little funny. It feels like the front end toe is out because it has a little bit of a tendency to dart to the right and to the left. I sort of feel like I'm kind of having to pay attention to keep it going straight down the road rather than kind of wanting to make a little quick dart to the right or the left. And it wouldn't surprise me a bit if I could fix that by tightening the toe in, bringing it in, the front of the tires in just a little bit. And I think at some point get up underneath and look at all the front end and see what I can tell about it. The other thing I noticed it's a little worrisome, but I don't know if I really need to be worried that much about it or not. You know, the engine sounds good. Doesn't sound like there's a thing wrong with it, but the oil pressure is really low. It started off with about 15 pounds, and after it warmed up, it went down to about 5. I'll show you. I drive that hot rod with that old Cadillac motor in there, and it don't run much higher pressure than that. And it's been doing fine that way. But that usually causes a little concern when you see really low oil pressure. But the engine don't feel that way. You know, it don't feel like a wore-out motor. It don't run like one. It don't smoke. And I don't know. I just kind of a curiosity. You know, could be that the gauge ain't real accurate or something like that. I'll keep driving it and see what happens. I've been listening to see if I hear a bearing starting to whistle. If I did, I'd shut it right down. But you know, I ain't heard any problem, and it doesn't appear to be any problem. So we'll just keep going right along being happy. That's what I'm going to do. Just keep going along being happy. I got my gaskets, not my gaskets. I keep wanting to call them gaskets because that's what they look like, with those little rubber hangers from my muffler on the Saab. And I'm going to try to go home and flop them things on there and get that thing back down on the ground so I can drive it to work tomorrow. I could drive this one. And, you know, now that I've driven it a little bit more, I'm a little more confident with it, but I'd like to drive it a little bit more than I have. And I still got some body holes that need to be welded up. You can hear that wind whistling. You sort of get the effect like you're driving down the road with the window down, but I know what that is. There's some pretty big holes still in this body, so it needs to be welded up. So I'd kind of like to tend not to drive it more than I have to till I get those kind of things taken care of. And I got some welding I want to do up under it and different things like that. So, but it's still a good little booger to run around and go to the grocery store in and this and that. And you know, as time goes along, I get more confident with it. I'll drive it more. We'll just enjoy it. Alrighty then, I'm still driving along. Jeep's doing just fine. You know, I'm beginning to wonder if that gauge is just bad. I seem like I remember driving it another day, and I didn't even think it was working. Like I noticed it was right on 0. And as I'm looking at it, it's just about on 0 now. And you know, I'm thinking, well, you know, that gauge might not even be any good. I don't know. Kind of acts like it. Anyway, little Jeep feels fine. We're almost back home now. Life is good. Alright, I'll say one more little bit about this oil pressure deal. This is an electronic gauge, it's not a mechanical one. And I have a little less confidence in an electronic gauge than a mechanical one, because this is only going to be as good as the sending unit is, and if the sending unit is not right, then it ain't going to be right. So that's a little bit comforting. I really don't trust an oil pressure gauge unless it's a mechanical one, and I might invest in one and a temperature gauge and put in this babe. See the sweet running little thing. I'd like to really know for sure you know, what the temperature and the oil pressure and all that stuff is. So I used to have an old jar full of gauges back there, but I think I took them all over to Mike's house. I don't know if I got any left or not, but wouldn't hurt to buy some new ones. It deserves some new ones. Alright then, that's enough of that stuff for me. I'm going in the house now. Warm up. See y'all later.